Hey all, happy Friday from Miss Flegner. I wanted to talk to you again today about making a text-to-self connection. Remember, good readers make a connection to the story to better understand what they read. There are three ways that we can make a connection to a text. I can tell what the story reminds me of. I can tell about a time that something similar happened to me. Or I can tell about a time that I had the same feelings as the character. So today we're going to listen to the story, A Weekend with Wendell by Kevin Hanks. We have already listened to this story in school, but I know so many of you enjoyed it that I thought it would be a great text to help us to understand making a connection to a story. I'm already noticing from looking at the cover of this story that it has characters and a setting. So this story must be a fiction fake book. Okay, let's listen in. A Weekend with Wendell by Kevin Hanks. On Friday afternoon, Wendell's parents dropped him off at Sophie's house. "Wendell's going to spend the weekend with us," said Sophie's mother, "while his parents visit relatives from out of town." "Oh boy," said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. After a snack, Sophie helped Wendell carry his sleeping bag and suitcase upstairs. "Well, what are we going to do now?" asked Wendell. "Do you have any toys?" Sophie pointed to her toy chest. "Is that all you've got?" said Wendell. "I've got a million times more than that. What else is there to do around here?" "We could play outside," said Sophie. "Only if I can make the rules," said Wendell. So they played house and Wendell made the rules. He was the father, the mother, and the 5 children. Sophie was the dog. Then they played hospital. Wendell was the doctor, the nurse, and the patient. Sophie was the desk clerk. When they pretended they worked in a bakery, Wendell was the baker and Sophie was a sweet roll. "Isn't this fun?" said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. At dinner, Wendell said he was allergic to anything green, so he didn't have to eat his vegetables. And then, when Sophie wasn't looking, he scooped the whipped cream off her dessert. "When is Wendell leaving?" whispered Sophie. "Soon," said her mother. "Soon," said her father. After Sophie's parents tucked Sophie into bed, zipped Wendell into his sleeping bag, kissed them both, and turned off the light, Wendell grabbed his flashlight and shone it right in Sophie's eyes. "See you tomorrow," he said, smiling. Sophie shut her eyes. "I can't wait for Wendell to go home," she said to herself. On Saturday morning, when Sophie woke up, there was a lumpy blue monster jumping up and down on her bed. It was Wendell. She felt something pinch her leg at breakfast. It was Wendell. She heard scary noises coming from the broom closet. It was Wendell. Wendell used Sophie's crayons and left them on the porch so they melted. At lunch, Wendell finger-painted with his peanut butter and jelly. "Isn't this fun?" said Wendell. Sophie didn't say anything. "When is Wendell leaving?" whispered Sophie. "Soon," said her mother. "Soon," said her father. At bedtime, when Sophie put her head on her pillow, she heard something crunch. It was a note from Wendell. It said, "See you tomorrow." Sophie shut her eyes. "I can't wait for Wendell to go home," she said to herself. Before Wendell's parents picked him up on Sunday morning, he tried to make a long-distance call. He wrote his name on the bathroom mirror with toothpaste. and he gave Sophie a new hairdo with shaving cream. Want to go outside to help me wash this off? Asked Sophie. We could play firefighter. Oh boy, said Wendell. So they played firefighter, and Sophie made the rules. She was the fire chief. Wendell was the burning building. Isn't this fun? Said Sophie. Wendell didn't say anything. Do I get to be the fire chief? Asked Wendell. Maybe, said Sophie. Soon, Wendell and Sophie didn't care who was the fire chief or who was the burning building. Time to go, said Sophie's mother. Time to go, said Sophie's father. Already, said Wendell. Already, said Sophie. When is Wendell coming back? Asked Sophie. Never, said her mother. Never, said her father. That afternoon, when Wendell unpacked his suitcase, he heard something crunch. It was a note from Sophie. It said, I hope I see you soon. The end. I hope you enjoyed listening to that story again. My challenge for you today is I want to see if you can make a connection to this story. So I'm going to show you the example that I wrote. In the text, Sophie is feeling annoyed because Wendell is being bossy and wants to make all the rules. This reminds me of when I felt annoyed that my older sister Tracy would not let me play a game with her friends. I'll be sending you this worksheet for you to work on today or over the weekend. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if there are any books that you would like me to read. Have a great day.